So let me start off by sharing my screen. Okay, and now I'm going to begin with the lesson, and if you have any questions, feel free to stop me and ask the question. We said last time that we have two ways of accessing the Microsoft PowerPoint program, which are just double clicking on the shortcut in the desktop, which brings up the welcome screen, or simply by typing PowerPoint in the Windows Explorer menu right below. Same thing. Now in the welcome screen, we have several options. We have the home screen, which contains we have the welcome screen, as I have said, and we can create new documents from here, or we can simply choose a theme from those available. We also have available to us the more recent, the recently accessed PowerPoint files, and we simply tap on a certain theme and choose the color. For example, let's go with blue, and then click on create. We have the first slide of the presentation. Now, what's the difference between a slide and a presentation? Now, the presentation is composed of many slides, and the slide is analogous to a page in Microsoft Word, for example. For example, in this presentation, we have two slides, number 1 and number 2, as you can see. Last time we've talked about how to choose different types of slides and the different, for example, if we click on new slide here in the drop down menu, we have different types of slides. We can choose a blank slide and then organize it as we see fit, or we can just select a prearranged one to make the work easier. For example, if I want to compare between two things, for example, there's a slide for that, for example. It's called comparison. Okay, let's try a blank slide. A blank slide doesn't have any prearranged elements in that slide. Okay, you essentially you start from scratch. Okay, now we can change the layout of a slide, for example, like so, title only. But the mostly used or the most used type of slide is title and content. Okay, like this. We have the title and the content. Now we can start writing in that slide as we have shortcuts for different options for the slide. Okay, just a moment. So last time we've talked about list elements, for example. Same with Microsoft Word and Excel. We have list elements which are pre-selected when we use this type of slide, title and content. We can remove the list element and we can write regular text, for example, or we can simply use shapes by going to the insert tab, by going to this insert tab and choosing a shape from these ones. Okay, so for example, if I want to insert a picture, I simply select pictures from this shortcut, or I go to the insert tab and then select picture. Okay, now we can choose either from our device or online pictures. Okay, if we choose pictures from our device and we double click it, or we simply click and then click on insert, we choose the picture and click on insert, we can reposition the picture by clicking anywhere inside the picture, or we can resize the picture by grabbing one of the corners and resizing. This keeps the aspect of the picture the same, but for example, if we grab the points between the lines, the shape of the picture changes. Now I made the picture wider, we can make it taller, smaller, like so. Okay, so we've also spoken about animations. For example, here we have animations and transitions. Now we need to make a distinction between between elements inside the slide and the slide itself. Animations can be used on any element inside the slide. Okay? Any element inside the slide, we can use animations on it. Okay? But for transitions, here we have transitions and animations next to each other. They are tabs in PowerPoint. They don't exist in Word and Excel. Here for the animations, we simply have to choose which element to apply the animations on. Okay, for example, let's write some simple text, for example. For example, let's go with this. Let's do a comma. Now, this itself can be selected, and once we select it, we go to the insert tab and we choose an animation from these options here. Okay, for example, let's use a split animation. Here is a preview of the animation and how it's applied. uh, we can also, for example, let's preview the animation like this. We can also, for example, let's delete this animation. Let's click on the animation, on the number representing the animation, and click on delete. We can, for example, if we select just part of the text, for example, hello, notice it applied the animation on the entire line. Okay, for example, like so. Okay, so the same goes for list elements. For example, let's Let's try a list element. Let's go with a numbered list. For example, let's give title. For example, let's try to apply the animation for example, let's if we select this box here, which is the content box, and use animations on this box, for example, notice it applied the animations line by line. Okay, it recognized that this is a list and it applied the animation line by line. Okay,
Sir, I'm sorry for
yes,
being late. Just came late, so what's the title of the session of today?
it's just a continuation of what we have seen on Microsoft PowerPoint.
Ah, okay, sir.
No problem. So, as I was saying, if we apply it, this whole box is considered an element within a slide, okay? This, for example, this box is considered an element within a slide. Uh, for example, let's get rid of the animations. Let's just go back. If, for example, we select the first element only, for example, and only the first element is animated. Is it clear? But once we select the entire box, what we did is we animated everything inside that box. Okay, let's try this with regular text, for example, and let's delete the animations one by one. Notice it still recognizes it as a list, okay, or as different lines. Let's try another formula for you to understand. Let's go with float in, but whenever we select this box, it applies the animations line by line, okay? One moment. So, for example, we can also use animations on shapes and on, for example, let's insert a shape or a picture. Notice here we have a shape which is animated, for example. Same thing with pictures. Let's go with this one and let's use random bars animation. Okay, now we can reorder the animations. We can, if we reorder the animations, they are executed according to the number assigned to each animation. Let's try it. Notice the picture appeared first and then the shape. Okay, now another thing that can be used on any element within a slide is, for example, the hyperlinks. Okay, the hyperlinks or the link, sorry, can be used on any element within a slide. Now, what is a link? A link we can use, for example, we have to, for us to use a link, we have to select an element. Notice whenever nothing is selected, the link option is grayed out. Now, for me to use a link, we have to select something, either this box or an element within a slide. Just an element. For example, we can select this line or this shape or, for example, this picture. Now, the link can be an internal link which opens a file within your computer. For example, let's try this one. Let's try to insert a link for a file. Now we can choose recent files or current folder, or we can browse for a file within the computer. Okay, we go to the desktop and choose something, any file within our computer. Okay, for example, let's choose this presentation. Now, how the link can be activated? Here, if we use link, notice this thing highlighted in blue is called a path. It contains the path to the file. Okay, and for us to access this path, let's go to presentation mode. We simply click on this one. Now, Microsoft Office has identified a potential security concern. The location may be unsafe. We click on yes, and now it takes us to the new presentation. Is it clear?
Yes, sir, clear.
This is for an internal link, a link that opens a file within our computer. But we can also use external links, meaning links to websites and other stuff. Okay, for example, let's try it. Let's try to go. This is the site of University of Laguat, for example. Let's For example, paste it as a link. Let's go with the university logo here and insert a link. Let's remove the first link and paste the address here. Okay, now whenever we go to presentation mode, if we double click on this one, notice it opens the university's site. Okay, this also can be useful if, for example, you have some external resources uh, having to do with your presentation. For example, if you want to link a YouTube channel or, for example, a website, or you can do so. Okay, it's not only applied on pictures and shapes. We can even apply it on text, for example. Let's try this one. Notice the color of the text changes to indicate that this is a link. Okay. For example, let's go with this. This is an example for a finished presentation, which I linked to that text. Once I double clicked on that text, it prompted me to open the new presentation. Now, for this presentation, what I want to show you is, one moment. What I want to show you is the last page. Now, for the video courses, click here. If, for example, uh, I click on this text, it takes me to my YouTube channel, which contains the video courses for this subject. Okay. Now, the way I did this is I selected this text and then I clicked on link and then pasted the link of the YouTube channel. For example, it gives you a preview of the link. For example, youtube.com playlist. If we double click, or if we click once, we have the playlist containing the video courses for second year students. Okay, we simply have to click. Okay, uh, it's sufficient to click on it for just once. Okay, now if you have any questions, please, I'm all ears. Is everything clear?
Sir,
Yes,
I joined the last minute and I missed the last part you were explaining.
no problem. So, for example, let's remove the link from this presentation. Let's just go back. This is simple text. This is a shape. Now, links Same with animations, can be applied on any element within a slide. Okay.
Okay.
Now, for example, transitions. If we go to transitions, transitions are applied on the entire slide, as you can see. Okay. Animations, you have to select a certain element within a slide for the animation to be applied. It can't be applied to the entire slide. Okay. Now, another thing that is useful that we can use when I mean element, when I say element, I mean pictures, shapes, text, anything of the sort. Okay, anything in a slide. For example, this square here is an element. Okay, for us to use, for example, links, we can insert links. For example, we can link something inside in our computer, a file in our computer, for example. Computer software, let's go with computer software, for example. Now this is applied for everything inside this one. Let's try and it's opened the slide. Okay, this is a file, another file in my computer. I linked it in my presentation. Okay, now another thing we can link is external websites. Okay,
Sir, for the link, once we tap on the title, it will just start automatically.
yes, as you saw earlier, I didn't get a prompt to open the link. Okay, it simply opened it. For example, this in the end of this presentation, we have a link. This link, if we click on this text, it takes us to this link here. Okay,
Ah, okay.
for example, we can use links on shapes, pictures. It doesn't really matter. Okay, for example, okay, let's go back to
Sir,
remove the
for the
link. Let's,
animation,
yes,
we can apply different animation to different things, like different pictures could have different animation at a time.
yes,
We just
different
order them.
pictures can have different animations. You mean the same picture can have different animations?
No, different pictures
Yes, we can
inside the
apply
present.
it element by element. For example, I just gave you an example earlier. For example, let's go with a picture and a shape. Let's reinsert the picture and let's reposition it and let's use different animations for the shape and the picture. Let's use this animation for the picture and this one for the shape. Now, if we preview what we have done, notice the shape and the picture have different animations. Okay, any element you want to apply an animation to, you just select it. Here we selected the shape and use any animation that's available to us. Okay, same for
Sir,
transitions. Yes,
for the
please
order,
go
it
ahead.
happens automatically, like when you insert the
First
shape,
come,
it
first
takes
serve.
number
Yes,
one.
if you apply the first first. For example, let's go to the animations tab. I applied the first animation on the shape and then the second one on the picture. I can select the shape or the picture and move later or move earlier. Okay, this reorders the animation. You can reorder the animations as you like. Okay, you simply select the element to which the animation is applied and then you move earlier or move later. Okay, so
Okay.
now for example for links, if we click on insert and then click on link, we can link external sites. For example, the University of Lagwad. For example, let's copy the link and let's paste it here. Okay, now for example, if we click on this one, notice it gives us a hint of the website that the picture links us to. Okay? For example, if we click on the picture once, it takes us to the university's website. Is everything clear?
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Same with this one. Here I applied it to text. Okay,
Yes, sir.
this
Thank you.
links to YouTube courses. You can use it to link to, for example, if you have a website detailing or containing more details on the subject you are presenting, you can link the website to a text, or for example, you can use it however you like. Okay, you have many options. Now, for transitions, different from animations and links, they are applied to the entire slide. For example, if we use transition like this or like this, notice it is applied to the entire slide. Okay,
Yes.
I used a presentation as an example for transition for transitions. Sorry. For example, let's use this one. Now, notice the flow of the information, animations and transitions. Okay, this is a transition. Here are the animations applied to the elements in the slide. Another transition, animations, transition, and then another transition, another transition. Notice that this transition is different from the previous ones. Okay, you have the option to use any number of transitions. Okay, is everything clear?
Yes. Sir, I have a question concerning the PowerPoint.
Yes,
Like, is there different versions, like the one you are using now?
yes, different versions. Now, for Microsoft Office, every 3 years they release a new version. For example, this one, the one I have installed, is Office 2021. Okay, is the 2021 version. Uh, There are, for example, 2007 version, 2010, 2013, 2016, 2019, and I believe there is even a 2024 version. Yes. So
Oh,
the options they do change, but they're not substantial changes. Okay, so they keep, if you for example use the 2016 version, you will be able to use the 2021 version easily. Okay,
mhm.
they make little changes with each iteration. Any other questions?
Sir, yeah,
Yes.
if we are to spot the difference between transition and animation, is it about like one is applied to the whole and one like can changes, or like what's the main difference between the two?
It's applied to, not to the whole slide. It's applied to the slide itself, to the page, how the page appears.
Ah,
Okay, the transition affects how the page appears, and the animation affects how the element inside the slide appears. Okay,
ah. And we can have
notice.
like
Yes,
different transitions.
yes, different transitions. We have different transitions. For example, let's go with. Let's try an example. For example, for this one, let's go to transitions. Notice here at the top, we have different transitions. For example, we can use this transition for this slide, and then use a split transition for this slide, and use a push transition for this slide. Now, even though the slides are empty, just focus on the transition, okay? The first
Yeah,
transition,
it's clear.
the second transition,
Ah,
and the third transition, okay? So same thing with animations, we have different types of transitions. We use whichever we feel is more appropriate. Okay?
okay.
So, any more questions? If there are none,
Thank you. That's
then
all.
no problem. If there are none, see you in the next session, inshallah. And as for the marks, I will respond to you as soon as I finish writing them in the list, okay?
Thank you, sir, for your explanation.
No problem. No problem.
So what will we study next time?
Uh, I don't know. Maybe it will be a continuation on this one, or we will do a general revision for the exam. Uh, I'm not sure. I will let you know via email. Okay.